Alright, so Christmas zombie horror doesn't come around too much, and when it does, it's not always done well. Now, um, clearly this is going to be a B film, low budget production B film, but what do you expect? It's called Silent Night, Zombie Night. Now, this does star Felissa Rose, who got famous, of course, by playing in the original Sleepaway Camp, and never seen her in anything else outside of that film, which again I watched recently for the first time in 2021 was when I first watched Sleepaway Camp, believe it or not. But yeah, Felissa Rose plays in this film. She's not the star of it, but she does come in basically at the end of the second act, and she remains for the whole of the third act. What we have going on here is an outbreak in Los Angeles on Christmas Eve, or just before Christmas Eve, and you have these two police officers. Now, these two police officers were on the job, and then the outbreak happened. One of the officers gets hurt, and they both take refuge in the police officer Frank's wife's home. So Frank and Sarah are married, and Frank takes his injured buddy Nash to the home to recover. The whole recovery scene is kind of brutal. There's a scene where he takes a really hot knife to Nash's foot to, stop the bleeding and whatnot. And while this outbreak is going on, we're revealed that there's problems in Frank and Sarah's marriage, and Sarah was involved in some behind the scenes stuff going on with Nash, but Frank doesn't know what, and Sarah's not basically coming forth with all the truths. And you basically have this survival story with these two guys who are kind of on edge with, well, very on edge with each other after these details are exposed, kind of thing. And the acting is not good. The effects are decent for a B movie. They're fun. There's a lot of there's good zombie gore and zombie action that goes on. It's a horror comedy as you expect it to be, so it really delivers on that. I think it's directed by Cain, and Felissa Rose is the only recognizable face that I've seen in this film. Although a lot of reviews that I came across found the characters to be really annoying, which I don't disagree with. They're still entertaining. They're annoying entertaining, which you don't always get in these kind of films. Sometimes they're just annoying and that's it, and you can't stand them until they meet their demise. But in this one, they do, the main character, Frank, is a complete dick, but you like to hate him kind of thing. And then Nash is like the cool, suave guy who has things going for him that Frank doesn't. And you kind of root for him in that sense too. There's a cool standoff with them at the closer to the end of the film where they're in the backyard and there's a pool, and then they're arguing with each other, and this is where Nash mentions things that went on with Frank's wife and stuff like that, and they're trying to keep it cool because of the situation, zombie outbreak that's happening in between them, but they've got the personal issues going on at the same time. And then Felissa Rose character, who plays, I believe Ellis is her name, could be mistaken on that one. She shows up as this zombie brigade with this other Australian guy who remained nameless in the movie. But they have their whole armored truck, and they come in and they start shooting all the zombies with Uzis, and they're basically looking for survivors, and they're surviving themselves and whatnot. There's another character introduced too whose name is Jeff, and Jeff is hiding out in a house very close to Frank's and his wife's, and he's hiding in the attic. And one thing I didn't understand is that there's a plot that involves him basically hiding a body of a loved one, and they wasted that plot the way it develops. I'm not going to say how it develops, but there's hints that when he starts to meet the characters, he's keeping this body hidden because he doesn't want the other characters to find it, because he thinks that maybe he's hiding it for a reason, kind of thing, and he doesn't want to be caught in a sense. But they play it out in a totally different direction, and they kind of don't utilize it to the way that I was expecting it to be utilized. They kind of just finish it off and then brush it off and wrap it up in a way that's kind of non-payoff ish. Like there's no moral or reason or values brought out of the situation. It was kind of just there and then not had anything done with, kind of thing. But overall, this film is mostly about, you know, the carnage and the fun, like the B movie tropes, you know, the zombie shooting, the zombie slaying. There's a scene where Frank goes onto the streets and starts whipping a bunch of zombies with a baseball bat. There is a lot of baseball references in this film, I will say. I wonder if the director is like a fan of baseball or something like that, but there's quite a few over and over. And he's whacking these zombies while they're playing like an old fashioned version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, like a 50s or 60s version of it. And he's just whacking the zombies while the song is playing. It was kind of funny. I really appreciated that scene for sure. And I really appreciated, although the acting is not good, I really appreciated how conversations were had and banters and dialogues and how things were delivered. Some of the characters definitely were annoying at times. They definitely did overact or obviously they're not always going to be believable, but sometimes they would be a little bit too much and overstay their welcome. But for most of the time, you really liked being with these characters and hearing them banter back and forth. And the film did a good job in keeping you wondering and curious in where things were going to go. And I really liked that aspect of it. So as a B film, as a low budget film, it's definitely on the topper, higher tier of them. And something that I would watch again and something that I definitely would buy on Blu-ray if I found it somewhere. So this was a fun entry in a horror Christmas zombie movie, and one thumbs up for me for sure, and something that I would definitely recommend checking out because again it's on Tubi. A lot of these Christmas films I've been streaming on Tubi because Tubi has a ton this year, and why not cover them while they're there? Might as well. It's December and that's what I like to do. So that is Silent Night Zombie Night. It was released in 2009, directed by Cain, and it was good. Also Felissa Rose. You love Sleepaway Camp? Definitely another reason to check out Silent Night Zombie Night. So that's what I got. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews, and I will be back for more soon. Stay tuned till then and take care and cheers.